All right. Now, what is your most? What would you say is your most memorable interview that you've ever done? Which one sticks out in your mind the most?
Wow, that is a interesting question. So many that we've done down the road. I've had a lot of good interviews. Maybe the most memorable interview happened to be one time we were doing an hour show from Atlanta Bread Company, and we had folks from the Air Force Reserve on, and the two recruiters that we were interviewing were fresh out of their advanced specialist school.
Yeah.
This was their first duty assignment. They were one stripers, and they had their duty sergeant standing behind them, standing up. They're sitting in a chair. He was standing up, kind of looking down on them, making sure that they didn't say the wrong thing, and so they were just petrified. And so we got you can imagine you do a show like this. Can you imagine if all the answers you got out of somebody were yes sir, no sir, I don't know, I can't comment on that. And I'm telling you, it was the longest hour of my life, because what should have taken a good 45 minutes to go through took us exactly about 8 minutes to get through. And suddenly, there you are grasping at straws. But once again, you laugh your way through those sort of situations. And God bless them. They were in a tough spot, having never done this before and having a case of the nerves. But that really sticks out in my mind, just because the killer for talk radio is the yes/no answer.
Right.
You know that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, you can't really do a show just stuttering.
From the positive side, and to go out on something positive. Probably the most memorable show was actually a series of show. I had Jeff McAfee. Mm-hmm. Who is he and his wife were the founder of the Joanna McAfee Childhood Cancer Foundation.
Right.
It was his little girl Joanna that passed away in preschool from a very rare form of leukemia. Yeah. And then he took that, and instead of closing that door on his life, shutting that chapter on a very painful place where he and his wife were, they said, you know what, let's see if we can bring some good out of it. Just the stories of Joanna that he brings back, and the people out there who were touched by her life, and how they were able to take this horrible incident, a horrible situation that they had no real control over, and then turn that around into a positive for so many other children. Brought tear to the eyes of everybody here in the studio that was listening to it. And then for weeks after that, we did a series of about 4 shows during Childhood Cancer Month, which was in September, one a week, talking about different aspects of childhood cancer, what the Joanna McAfee organization was doing with that particular aspect of the mission. And for literally a month after that series of show, I would be stopped and said, I just had to pull over the car because I couldn't see it because the tears were coming, or my heart went out and I donated $50 or $100. And really to be privileged to be an instrument in such a worthy cause as that will always be a very treasured memory of mine. And I look forward to my continued association with not just the Joanna McAfee Childhood Cancer Foundation, but all of these groups in Middle Georgia that are doing a lot of good work and don't get the attention and credit they deserve. My show, Talk of the Town, is dedicated to the idea that there's good people in Middle Georgia, there's good news in Middle Georgia, good stuff going on, and that folks want to hear about it and deserve to hear about it. We get bombarded with so much bad news, and we got to talk about the murders, the car crashes, the fires, and what have you. But why do we have to let that dominate our news? Why do we have to make news reporting a depressing exercise? And my program is dedicated to the proposition that good things happen in Middle Georgia, good people live and work in Middle Georgia, and that they want to hear about positive things going on around them. Wherever you happen to call home in Middle Georgia, that's right, you got it locked down to the right place for all of that WR. We are Warner Robins, AM 1350 or FM.
In the next video, we'll have the interview with Todd Wilson.